Well, let's get ready. Let's go ahead and start our webinar. Start our workshop now. Thanks everybody for being here today. You know, we get together a couple times a month. Our goal is to help you use the best tools out there to help promote yourself and promote your listings. RealBird is a toolbox that keeps giving. I ask myself, Gabe, how deep is that toolbox a lot of times, because I find new tools in the box all the time and new ways to use those tools. Good morning, everybody. My name is Eric Zebarth. I'm a guest trainer on this webinar here today. Thanks for being with us. We'll be together the most part of an hour. And like I say, we try to work hard to bring to you the help that you need to be successful, whether it be RealBird or other tools as well. Our focus is on RealBird and how to use those tools to be more successful, generate leads for buyers, sellers, find more people, and show what you can do. RealBird is a great way to be able to show what you can do and who you are. So, Gabe, I didn't say hi. Good morning to Gabe. How are things out there in lovely Northern California?
Hi, everybody. Here I am in Redwood City, looking out at the blue sky and waiting again another 2 weeks later for the rain. I said that 2 weeks ago. There's no sign of it. I look on a 10-day forecast. There's some clouds out there. So if somebody has some rain clouds, kind of like, please send it to California, okay?
We were talking about dragging an iceberg down to help you guys out. Maybe that would influence the weather a little bit. Well, I'm broadcasting myself from northern Utah, where it's beautiful next to the Rockies. I got them right outside my back windows with a little snow on top. So, hey, wherever you are across the fruited plain, thanks for coming. Thanks for supporting our training and our webinars that we do and with RealBird. And we want you to be successful. That's what it comes down to. I always start to share the toolbox that RealBird has. This toolbox, like I say, is deeper all the time, and I've been doing these trainings here for, 11 years, 12 years now. And I'm still, on each webinar, I actually train and know this product very well. I use it with all my clients that I use, my marketing coaching clients. And I am always coming up with new ways to use these tools. And I'm learning more about the tools. RealBird's constantly focused on adding more tools to the box. These are some of the newest things that have been added just in the last few months, and they're coming up with new stuff all the time. And I love that, a tool that you're not necessarily paying more, but they're adding more to the toolbox and tools that you can need. Sometimes with realtors, because I worked with them for so long, 20 years this month actually, helping them agents market themselves, and I've seen overwhelm from realtors where I have so many tools, and there's a bit of guilt, shame, in that I've got this tool and I just didn't use it the best I should have. I could have used it more. I could have implemented it more. I could have understood more about it. And no reason for that shame. I mean, but you got to pick your tools. Not all tools work that you have as a real estate agent. Work as well as RealBird. I look at what are the best tools a realtor has? Number one, I would say your cell phone, right? Which is really your online business tool, for you to, anyway, communication, broadcasting, everything. So that's very important. I'd say that's number one. I would say number two, I'm being really grounding here. So your license, obviously, that's a tool to give credibility, and it gives you your legitimacy. I would say the other thing would be your brand. How are you seen online? Because that's where people are going. We'll jump right into our topic here today. Anyway, don't ever be overwhelmed with all the tools that are in the toolbox. We talk mostly about the listing publisher, your ability to create these single property websites, but that really is only where it starts. We talk about the property search widget as well, although it's not as robust and not used as much as a listing publisher. The idea is that your listings are your currency. That is your active, pending, sold, and your buyer listings are, in a way, your currency that shows you have value in the marketplace. And RealBird does a great job of dressing up those listings so they can be seen by others, because your listing, a successful listing, once pending and closed, or even active, that you gathered a listing, it tells something about who you are, and what you do, and how well you do it, and where you do it. So we'll talk a little bit about that today. So, the question that we have for our topic today is, where are basically your clients, whether it be buyers, sellers, and then how can you reach them? That's really the question we want to talk about today. And so we're going to go over this. Okay. So, I want to start by saying, obviously the thing that's changed the most is probably social media, and not social media is not just Facebook and not just YouTube. Social media is basically where people hang out and share stuff with each other, and definitely there are buyers and sellers there. And I just want to show this graphic here. This is done January 1, and out of all the social media, I know there's a lot of them here. The engagement here is 69%. That is phenomenal. Now, I for my clients, one of the services I provide is I build websites, custom websites for real estate agents, and help them integrate them into their marketing. And I watch the stats on those websites as people visit. And with the big thing that's changed in the last 2 years is more people now on almost any website I track visitors for, more visitors now are engaging with these websites with a mobile phone or tablet than a desktop. Now, I'm on a desktop doing this webinar presentation with you today. I have two monitors side by side. They're 32-inch, because I build websites and I put a lot of stuff in front of me. But I'm going to tell you that things have changed. Desktops, most people at work have a desktop computer in front of them with a fairly decent screen, 19 inches or up or wider, and they don't want to come home or when they're not working, they want they're not going to jump back on a desktop at home when they're searching for property, or searching for a realtor, or searching social media for resources to help them in their real estate needs. So that's really been a big shift, is that people are on mobile, on websites, and social media as well. But I want to talk about social media here because this is where people are. Now, I realize not everybody's on Facebook. I meet people once in a while saying, I don't do the Facebook thing. My daughter's a deputy sheriff, and she doesn't like putting a profile online. She, for the whole world to say. So she'll, when she's with my wife and I, she'll go on our social media and connect, and but not everybody's on not everybody's on social media. But it's saying here most people are as of January 1. There's some of the other social medias that are up and coming. By the way, if you're not on Instagram, you absolutely should be. Instagram is owned by Facebook, but you can do a lot of great things. I can show you some things you can do with Instagram. It's basically a visual network where you can add hashtags so that your content can be found and shared. And also Pinterest is still huge. Right behind that, Snapchat. Now, I've heard in the news lately that Snapchat's kind of losing money, but all my kids, 26, youngest, oldest 34, they all use Snapchat. And now I don't know if you want to be the number one realtor in Snapchat. That's not easy to do. And Snapchat, they say it's kind of lost half its money in the last 9 months, 10 months, I think that is. But some of these I think are definitely here to stay. And by the way, do you have to be in all these places? No, but you should be in. I would definitely Facebook, YouTube, and I would say Instagram and Pinterest. Twitter is good too. When I work with my clients, I set up systems connected to their website, so they can use their website like a publishing platform of listings, articles, real estate guides, and things like that. And I always hook them up so that when they post their content there, it gets sent out to Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook and Google and such. So there's possibility to connect some of these so that you can broadcast content on some of these social media networks without having to go to each one. So there's a way to do that. So I thought that's really interesting that do we control Facebook? No, and we don't control YouTube. YouTube's owned by Google. Facebook obviously owns Instagram. But to not use these are free resources. Yes, can you pay for? Can you put up a video in YouTube and pay for traffic to it? Absolutely, you can. and it's actually pretty reasonable. You can have a Facebook business profile that's basically like your website, but it's a Facebook website inside their network. And leveraging Facebook is a huge opportunity to be where people are, and please take advantage of that. I mean, it doesn't cost anything to set up a Facebook business page. It doesn't cost anything to set up a YouTube channel. They now have great tools where you can edit the videos and do all kinds of stuff. It takes a little effort. I mean, I would imagine that you as a real estate agent are going to be doing these things, using these tools in the middle of the day. It might be best to be done when the phone can't be used. We talked about phone. Texting is huge. It's amazing. Texting used to be, I don't know, people below younger than 50, and now that's not the case. There's a lot more. Texting has become a way to interact with people, and even though you get more of people's information when you correspond with them that way, you're going to get their for example, you're going to get their cell phone number so you could call them, but somehow people are, feel a little more comfortable behind the message bubble and in texting. I talked about messaging because I have like an iPhone, so basically messaging or texting someone. But also Facebook has a tool called Facebook Messenger, and that is a great tool that people are just becoming aware of. A great tool to be able to connect with more and more people. So anyway, I just want to let me drop this other. I know I don't want to be like I have realtors that want to put every stat and every graphic on their website because, and I find out that those are more agents, the real estate agents that are more engineer minded, and they love statistics, and they think every client they are going to find or want loves statistics as well. So I don't mean to throw this in front of you, but it's engagement here. This is really, I have some clients that I work with, a couple of gals in Southern California, and I help them with their marketing, and they market 55 plus communities. And so what is the engagement for that age? Well, look where it is here, down here. Everybody was down here, but it's steadily up here to, I would say in some areas, it's even closer to 50%. That's 65 plus, and 50 to 64 definitely is right up there. If you look at these three, they're pretty close in age. So I thought that was really interesting. Look at where we are today. That is percentage of U.S. adults who use at least one social media site by age a day. Not everybody's on every social media. I find out that people basically gravitate. They're going to use usually three. One for sure that they're in. That's usually Facebook for most people. And they're in Facebook sometimes as much as 45, 50 minutes a day. That's what the stats say. And so if you're not there, you're missing out on Facebook, whether you like it or not. Because I have some of my clients say, I don't want to be on Facebook. I don't want to share my personal life. And I said, but the business side has an upside that you can't shake your fist at. I mean, you got to be there. So where else are the people that are going to be interacting with you? And I'm just throwing up, I don't want to feel like the guy that's coming over, it's helping you, said, join up to the, multi-level marketing, where it gives you a whole sheet and says, okay, these are all the people that you can talk to about your new business opportunity. But I think it's important and serious to talk about, for you to identify what are your spheres of influence? Where do you, or spheres, or I call it circles, is another one. What are the circles you hang out in? What are the circles you'd like to hang out in? And can you be a realtor in those spaces? Simple thing. I know this. You've seen people who wear the real estate badge wherever they go. I wouldn't do it in church, but I would do it in these other areas because that's just who you are. That you touching people, and particularly new people all the time. Be environments where new people can connect with you. Very important and a great opportunity. You don't want to miss out on that. But really write these down and think about the events, how you can be involved. And like I say, you don't have to do all of them, but be intentional about your engagement, your sphere of influence. Okay. we talk about also your past clients. I worked as a coach for almost 6 years for Brian Buffini, and he's one of the best coaches out there for coaching people how to get more business out of the people through referrals. And it's interesting, if you ask anybody how do you generate leads, and of course the number one way to generate leads is to generate them out of your sphere of influence, out of your past clients, your current clients even, and you get referrals from the people you already know, and empowering them to do that, to have them see it be a service. Basically sell them or convince them or share with them how them being a service to you by bringing you referrals can be a service to them. Be a resource. But Brian Buffini actually put a system to it. This is how you generate, leads from the people and referrals. And we know that these come anyway. You do a good job for a client, you might not ask for a referral, but you did a good job, and someone else talks about it and say, hey, I'm looking for someone. Hey, check out John. He does a great job. And here's the interesting thing that's happened in the last 3 years. That I coached. Gosh, I coached with Brian and Brian's clients back 2001 to 2007. So it's a while ago. 11 years ago, 12 years ago. So, but back then, you could get a referral. Hey, you need a real estate agent. I hear you talking. You're thinking about selling your house. Talk to John. He's really good. That still happens, whether you put a system to it or not. What's changed is that's not enough anymore, because we know that if you might refer me to John because I'm thinking about selling my house, but I'll still go online to find John and look at his profile and look a little more information about him. That's what's changed, is that sometimes referrals is not enough anymore. They want to find you kind of like okay, I've got that reference. I trust Mark is a great, going to give me, not steer me wrong. I guess John's going to be great, but I'm still going to go online and find John and find maybe some other reviews, because I have a 34-year-old, my oldest son, and he's definitely a millennium, and he's up here. He's a homeowner for about 5 years now here in Utah. And so if he look at his age group, let's see, 34, that's even 18 to 29, he's right in here, and he won't go buy anything unless he goes online and exposes himself to what other people have said about that before he makes a purchase, before he buys a meal, before he checks out a restaurant, before he uses a service. It's just, the younger folks, they're empowered because they know how to get information, or at least there's more of them that do that. So the reason I talk about the referrals is, you're already getting referrals with that. They happen if you just do a great job, but you can put a system to them to stay in front of the people so that you can generate more and then communicate with them how you work. Hey, I work by referral. Everybody works by referral. Referrals are the best kind of leads. But if you don't put a system to that, to engage with people and see where they are, see if they might be a referral source for you, you're missing out. You're missing out. So where are they? The really question, that really question is, where are you? And you have to be everywhere. That when I say everywhere, I don't mean you have to sign up for every social media, build a profile, put your testimonials in there. You got to do more than that. But what I'm saying is, you don't have to be everywhere and that you have to be in every social media. Pick your best. I'd say pick the free ones first, the ones that have the most of influence. By the way, when I work with clients, all the time they find it confusing that it's like, well, I've got my Facebook. I log into Facebook and it brings me to my Facebook profile, and I tell them that's only the gateway into the place where you can build your Facebook business page. The difference is when you see a let me see if I can show it. That's okay. So here's Susan Rupert. She's a real estate agent, and you can see likes. So if I've already liked this page, but that's the difference. That's how you know when you're on your business page, is here you'll see likes because people like you. Now, if I pull up Susan here, I'll pull her up. You'll see friends, and that's how you know the difference. And should you conduct business? on your personal profile. I get that all the time. See, here we have friends. That's how you know the difference. Is it friends or it likes? If it's friends, that means you're on your personal page, and you go through here to get to. Yeah, and of course, once you're logged in here to Facebook, if you go here, this is if you already have Facebook business page. You'll have your Facebook business page link right here. You can click right into it. I'm a big fan of Facebook. I think you should use it. I've had realtors say, I feel a little bit like Zillow. It's like Zillow's there, and they have some good tools, but they're not thinking about me first. There's how they can use me in my listings to get more business and sell to realtors. Yes, that's true, but I'm going to tell you that if they're giving you a tool where you can have 5-star reviews posted showing your past sales, did you know I don't know if you knew you can do that. You should always go in there after you've closed the listing, go into your profile. You don't have to be a premier agent. Susan happens to be one, but you don't have to be. You can have your profile there, show your listings there, and then once you close a deal, go in there and claim it. There's a place to log in your profile, and you can claim a listing and show it as sold. Whether it's a buyer seller, you'll just need the address, determine whether you're buyer seller when you submit it. A lot of times if you go into your profile, they're going to already know because they get this data from the MLS connected to you. So when one's sold, a lot of them say, hey, is this yours? Were you the buyer here at this address? This sold date for that amount, claim this listing. You go, okay, yeah, claim that. That was mine. By the way, I would go back in here if at all possible and claim your past sales even before maybe even use Zillow. I think that's important. Young people look at this. Younger people. I'm going to say my son's oldest, 34, like 35, mid 30s and younger. They really have a lot of weight on Zillow. That Zillow's pretty cool, and they will use Zillow. And so if you go in here and you've had because you haven't claimed your listings, and they find your profile and it shows, gosh, I know I had more than 2 sales in last year. Well, that's because you haven't claimed your listings. Show that and ask for reviews. This is the best place to have your reviews get the most amount of exposure. I know you can have Yelp and you can have reviews, testimonials from past clients show up on your company website or your own website, and that's great too. But this is the place the most amount of people will see your 5-star reviews. Now, I do something with my clients is on their website, I go and scrape those reviews off Zillow, and I put them on their website because we don't know what's going to happen with these. And by the way, Zillow gives you a widget that you can put on your website. Say, hey, here's reviews from Zillow. Here's Zillow reviews, but every one of those reviews takes them back to Zillow, the visitor to Zillow, and you want to keep them on your site. That's what you want to do. Okay, so, and by the way, ask for reviews. And the best place to ask for reviews, Zillow. So, and I know, I guess I get this all the time. I hate Zillow. I think and you know what they're going to be doing now? They're becoming an investor now. That's the latest thing I've heard. Oh my gosh, I'm going to do it. They're going to exploit me more. And I said, and my advice, you guys have heard from me before, is exploit them back. Exploit them back. They've given you tools. Use every single one of them. Okay. There's just some ideas of basically where you can be. I'm just kind of going through my list. Oh, by the way, Starbucks. Some agents have been really successful. It's like, how do I meet strangers? How do I meet the haven't mets? Referrals from your past clients or sphere of influence people within your spheres. That's great. Those are people that have met you. Of course, make sure they know that you're willing to help them with real estate. It's amazing how many people have an aunt, an uncle, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, that have realtors in their sphere, but a lot of times they won't want to use them. So don't assume just because someone you have in your sphere knows someone, a realtor already, that they're going to go with them. A lot of times they will want someone outside of the family or the close circle. So check with people, make sure they know that they're able to help them out. So how do you meet new people? You have to be where they are. Some agents have been successful with someone crazy idea, and more than a couple people have tried it. Basically, go to Starbucks, you got your laptop out, and on the back of the laptop, you have a big question that pasted on there says, hey, how's real estate in your world? Something like that. And people have got business that way. Now you can go to open houses. This is one of the things that I think that realtors have really missed out on. It's kind of like the open house is like, oh, that's old and blasé.
Hey,
Doesn't
Eric,
work in
that's
every.
an
Yeah,
idea
good.
with the laptop, which is a good idea.
Yeah,
Put Set up texting and put a text code on there and say text XYZ
great.
to see listings in your area or something like that. That's a
That's
great
a
idea.
that's a great idea. I didn't even think of that. That's a billboard that people would see. I know people come and go, but start. You have to go where the people are, right? Isn't that what the bank robber said? Is why did you rob the bank? Is because that's where the money is. So you have to go where the people are for the haven't mets. By the
Also,
way,
schools. I have a
oh,
school next to me here,
uh-huh.
and there's parents waiting for their kids when like in the afternoon. So you could put an A-frame on there. I actually have a client who's using our homes by SMS, and he puts that A-frame where the in his area on the East Coast, and then I have someone else who lives by the beach, and he puts this A-frame on the beach because there's a lot of traffic there, and so those work really well.
So you really have to open your mind to all the places you can be and have your brand seen and making yourself available. I'm here, ready and able to serve. By the way, that was a great idea. So you got to make a commitment. By the way, I always try to share because when we're coaching my clients or coaching a new client, and they're like, I don't have any business. I need more business, and I tell them that if they put it in front of them to meet two new people every day that didn't know about you yesterday. Think of that. Think of that. You have to put in your mind. Say, hey, I have services that can help people, and you have to really think about that. Why do I want to help? Who do I want to help? And I'll get to that in a little bit. But I think um, having that daily goal, not every day that you suppose have your realtor hat on or badge on, so to speak, but make a commitment to introduce your services to two people every day, and wherever we can find them, but try to find at least two people a day that didn't know about you yesterday, because there's a good chance that in their sphere or their own needs, and within the next 6 months, 4 to 6 months, they're going to have the needs themselves, or they're going to know about someone who does, and you want to be that person. So you have to start somewhere, but making that small commitment is I commit to finding two people every day that I can introduce my services to, and check with them, make sure they have that need taken care of. There's something that's powerful about that. I did when I was coaching with real estate clients. I was a coach, like I said, with Brian Buffini back. I think the year was the second term for President Bush, and it was like October, like this time of the year. And I came up with a goal to ask the real estate agents I work with to set a goal. How many people do you want to help with real estate? And I probably should have started it in January, not in October. But to have them be really vocal with a goal, write it down, put it in front of them. I want to help 6 people. And I had one agent, Paul Hunter. He was in Northern Virginia, Remax, great agent in that area. And he said, I want to do 12 sides. I want to have 12 sides in escrow, whether buyer or seller side in escrow. They don't have to close by the end of the year, but so I had him write it down. I said, okay, write this down. I expect to, or I want to find 12 people that need my help. And I had them put that goal in front of him. And it wasn't the only one. I think I had about, out of my, gosh, I have a lot of clients when I coached, 80 at a time. So it was a lot, half an hour twice a month, and in between a little help. So, but I had about 12 of my agents that really took that on. It's Eric, I think I can, in different parts of the country, obviously you can do more business, but all of them then engaged with that, willing to write down that goal and then put it on a sheet of paper. And I told them to put it on a sheet of paper and laminate it with a grease pencil, because deals come in front of you, and then sometimes they go away, or they have a longer lifespan than might take longer gestational period to close. But put it out there, and I found out that I had 12 agents that really took me on with this. Every one of them reached their goal, that they were able to fill out that sheet with either a buyer or seller deal side and were able to find someone. There's something about putting it out there that all of a sudden your subconscious goes to work and helps you do things without thinking and even unintentional to find those people. And you got to know that those people are out there. The other coaching tip I used a lot with my clients is be curious. Don't say, "Oh my gosh, when am I going to pay my bills? Oh gosh, this transactions taking my head off." You have to be more positive of that. You have to be curious. I wonder who I'm going to meet. I set this goal to find these people. I wonder where they're going to show up. But having that, and it's somehow I'm 57. We get very cynical. But when we were young, I always say, okay, do you have a grandkid or do you have a kid that's say 9 or 10 years or younger, or someone like that? And I said, yeah, it's okay. So how does that kid show they're curious? They're curious about everything. You don't have to teach them, hey, I only teach you to learn. No, you don't do that. They're already naturally curious about things. It's just kind of a beautiful thing, we start out with. But somewhere we lose it. So I try to challenge my coaching clients, basically, be curious about how you're going to find those people. Don't say, oh gosh, I haven't found anybody. Oh, these leads suck. Be curious. I wonder where. And when you engage your curiosity, you engage your creativity. You guys are being curious today by being on this webinar and learning and taking this big question we have about, where our leads are, and our buyer and seller leads are, and where are they, and how can I get them? How can I be where they are? So anyway, I did a little bit of coaching tips in there, but I'm going to challenge you, and I challenge my own clients to do that, to put that goal in front of them. It's like, okay, how many people do you want to help? You're good at what you do. You're good at what you do. People need those services. How many people are you going to help? Put it down on the paper. Commit to it. Yeah, with a grease pencil, that's okay. But because that helps, because deals come on in front of you and they go away. So anyway, I'm just sharing some coaching tips there. But these are just some of the ideas where you can, open houses. I want to get back to that. Open houses. I've seen so many agents say open houses are old. I don't have time for that. I don't want to give away my Saturday. I don't want to give away my Sunday. But I'm going to tell you that this is a key place. If you can, lots of yard signs, use social media, use RealBird. And if you're doing RealBird, when you have a listing, you can post an open house date in there. And it's going to show in front of that listing every time, single property website. People are going to see that hey, come see that this house is open, Sunday at 2 to 5 or Saturday. If you don't have any listings, find someone who has an active listing in your office. Network with them. You say, where are your leads? Where your business coming from? Janie Coffey is an incredible real estate agent. That is a big, I'd say I call her the #1 ambassador for RealBird because she's used it probably more than anybody. And Janie Coffey did such a great job marketing her listings and using the tools that RealBird has, that one of her biggest sources for real estate, guess what, was other real estate agents that weren't willing to dive in and use these tools and be as savvy as her. They would come to her, hey, Janie, I got this listing I can't sell. Can I share it? Can you co-market it with me or co-list it with me, so we can find a buyer for it? That works, and it's Janie. That was surprising to her that she got so good at her marketing and being clear about who she was and how she wanted to help in real estate, that she ended up getting a lot of real estate clients. That was actually one of her major spears is referrals from other agents to have them come alongside and help them sell their houses and market them. Okay, so but don't miss out on this. Don't miss out on this opportunity. If you don't have any listings, you should be doing a open house every weekend. And by the way, not all agents that have active listings are going to want an open house, but don't let that discourage you. Some agents might not understand that helps them to have someone. It doesn't just help you. You're not just trying to exploit them. You're trying to bring have that house open in a neighborhood. And there's lots of different open houses. I have clients of mine up here in Salt Lake near me, and they don't call them open houses. They call them property premieres. And they do like special showings, like this property will not be shown until this property premiere, which is usually not on a weekend, usually a Thursday night or Friday night, sometimes a Wednesday, 4 to 6, and they'll have cheese and crackers and really cool things. Basically, open the house to not only to the neighborhood, but let them know that, hey, come check out this house that's new on the market, and they've been very, very successful with that, by the way. So there's lots of different ways to do open houses. If you're not knocking the doors in the neighborhoods where you're doing open houses, you're missing out as well. Hey, John and Mary are selling their house. We're having an open house on Saturday, but we're doing a neighborhood premiere. So we'd love to have you. That it's amazing. Now, and it takes guts to do that and get in front of people, and that's cold calling, but very, very effective. I've never met an agent that did this and didn't have great results. Oh, wow. You mean, because everything you're showing, how do you say that? Everything you're doing for that listing in that neighbor down the street. By the way, the neighbor down the street, a lot of people are nosing. I always wanted to go inside the house and see what they did to the bonus room downstairs or something like that, or our great room, because we live in a tract, the same subdivision. Anyway, but everything you do for your client shows the neighbors, hey, if you hire me, this is what I'll do. And sometimes that's hard to share that. I mean, obviously they can see the signs and the marketing public. Anyway, so you got a website. I'm just going through. If you got a website, you can create subdivision pages for micro neighborhoods. That's something Zillow is drilling down. It used to be, Zillow has information centric focused pages for most communities, but they don't have the neighborhoods. And you have a great opportunity to kind of jump in there still, not too late, and build that information. And you can pull a lot of people in to take a look at that. Create blogs that, when I say blog, that's like you create a blog, but blog is basically a collection of articles that you create on your website. So a blog is also an article, or a blog is a place where there's multiple articles. But create content, write articles, share it on social media, and then answer questions that real estate needing people have. What are their concerns, frustrations, needs? I always talk about that, and then communicate that. Oh, don't be selling, be telling, be teaching. By the way, that's not only helpful to consumers. Google, which is the biggest search engine, which most people still go in there on their phone and their tablets and their desktops and ask questions and look for help. And of course, we want them to find you. We want Google to put you in a good position so that you get found. So partner with Google by creating great content, because Google has no value, by the way, if it doesn't. Google doesn't really create content. I mean, it creates Google Maps and so many tools that Google has, but Google it just gathers content that's already out there and puts it in a way, in a sequence that they feel that, who earned the top spot. So the idea is how you partner with Google is make Google smarter, share content that helps teach someone something. Same thing, I know, because a lot of people, that's a big thing now is, oh my gosh, Gmail, and if you're using these tools and Google's selling your data, and they might be, they might see, what, so they know what kind of ads to put in front of me. But this is the same thing with Zillow. Exploit them back. Create content that makes them look good, and they'll reward you by putting you in a good position. Okay, and then we talked already about social media. Build a Facebook business page. Add your listings there. You can do that. Ask people to like your page. Ask for referrals. You can have your testimonials in Zillow. I mean, and not just Zillow is my favorite place for realtors to have their testimonials, but on your Facebook business page, you can have referrals as well. I think that's huge to have your reviews there. That's very, very, very important to have there. So okay, that would be, I'd say, would be the second place I'd want them. Yelp and Google would probably be third and fourth. Okay, so I share these different ideas. Let me dive a little deeper and think. I think it's good sometimes to kind of shut off the business and have the work on the business rather than just in the business. We work in the business every day, but sometimes taking that time. I think it's very important to find out who are your avatars, who are the people you want to serve. By the way, who has shown up. Sometimes people show up and you're like, wow, I didn't know that type of real estate was going to show up. And so I think it's interesting to see who has shown up. It might be that you're attracting that type of business and you didn't know you are. I had an agent like this. She was in her 60s, and she happened to first-time buyers seem to be the people that showed up wanting her help. She'd been in business for a while. She was good with technology. But it seemed like the first-time buyers, and she enjoyed them. Not everybody likes working with first-time buyers, but she had a passion for it. And once she figured out that this is kind of like what she was giving off, attractants, that's what showed up. She put more of a system to it, and did first-time home buyer exhibits and sessions, seminars, things like that, and find out that she liked helping these people. She really liked helping these people, loved it, and found out that these people they never forget you. The property virgins, they became homeowners, and they really didn't forget her and sent her referrals, by the way, that weren't first-time buyers. But anyway, I think it's important to identify, take like 4 or 5 of your best clients you've worked with, and identify who they're, what are their age range, what were their needs, concerns, what was their location, were they a buyer, were they a seller, and this will help you do that. I actually did this for a client last week. We were kind of helping her kind of brand herself and to put herself out there more on the social media, and I think she had like 100 reviews, like Susan. She had almost 100 reviews in Zillow. So I actually took a tool. I took the text of all those reviews in a document, and I put them through what's called a word count or word cloud, and it created a word cloud. Basically, it took the top 25, I would say like 25 words or phrases, and it was able to basically show the top phrases that what people said about her, and it was really powerful to see, that she's knowledgeable about the area. She's a great negotiator. She really helped us through the process. Let's see, what do they say? Things like quick response, knowledgeable about the process. Anyway, so she had a hard time saying what she was good at, but by taking what people said about her, it was powerful. I think it's I think that can help too, because you don't, I think a lot of agents don't know that they're good at this, and I think it's good to take the time and figure that out. What am I good at? What do I want to be known as? And anyway, so I just thought it was powerful in a way that I hadn't done before, helping someone with that, and that might help you to be able to determine what you're good at. So the answer to the question is, serve them where they're at. That's where you got to go. You don't have to be everywhere, but be consistent. Have on all your marketing. I ran into this before in our training. We've talked about on these seminars, webinars that we do, is that you need to be the same everywhere. Your brand needs to be consistent, and that could apply to the color scheme you use on your website and your logo and the name of your business page, the name of your website, the name of your profile on the different social medias. Do you use the same email? I'm going to tell you that Google, a lot of agents don't realize this, but Google is already gathering you as a business, because you are a business, even though you might be an agent under a brokerage. Your profile is out there, and Google will actually go try to find pieces of your profile, reviews, information about you, and put it together and on a page, Google local page, so you can be found. And the idea is to go find that and claim it so that you can get control of it. It'll actually gather reviews from up to 3 to 5 different places and put them together. Hey, here's what was said about John on Yelp. Here's what to say about John on Facebook, not so much, because the Google world doesn't always play. Actually, most time doesn't play well with the Facebook. So I think you have to be intentional. What is your brand? I mean, I have agents that take it to the next level. It's like, hey, here's my color scheme. Here's my catchphrase. Here's my contact information. Google, by the way, has finds you by elements of your profile called citations. So make sure those citations kind of are all the same and that they're unique. I think it's important to take that. Most agents won't do this, but the agents that do it, they really jump. This is getting like, I don't know, scientific about it, but it really is making intelligence. I guess that's what it is. This is bringing intelligence into you and your profile and your business so that you can identify, who are you helping now? Who do you want to help? And then their next question is, where are all those people? How can I engage with them? And those kind of ideas we already talked about today. So rather than, I didn't want to take the time and go in here and dive in here and show you how to set up a Facebook business page. By the way, you can go on YouTube and do that. And by the way, if you go into YouTube, that's a great resource. Why not be on the other side of that and provide information? We shared here already that a lot of people use YouTube. 73%. That's higher than Facebook even. So if you don't have a Facebook Facebook business page and YouTube channel, you need to get that. So if I go into here we go. Let's go in here. You need to ask a question. Someone is willing to share that information, and always ask questions in Google. That's the way you get the most out. Here we go. So ask a question here. Okay, type in a question and get an answer. And by the way, you don't have to put a question mark in it. And for example, one of the how to always start like how to build a Facebook biz page. Oh, look at this! It even has it's making suggestions that it has already in its library. Oh, might you want this book? Might you want this information? So, and by the way, this is what I always try to look for. Try to look for someone that's posted, particularly in Facebook, because Facebook changes every day. I have to remind myself that Mark Zuckerberg is, a month younger than my oldest kid. so things change a lot in here. So the more recent advice you can get, the better. If you pick one from, hey, how to build a Facebook page, and it's from 2009, it's not going to be very big help because things change all the time there. So yeah, this is probably a good one here, how to build a Facebook page. Next thing I do is I try to look at one that's had some pretty good views. This one seen 36,000 times 9 months ago. Here's 254,000, even better. I love step by step, and where you can watch a video and then I can start and stop it. That's incredible. So I can stop and go, okay, I got that step, and I can follow it. And this is huge. So by the way, I hope you're seeing also this could be used for you. And don't be afraid to get in front of the camera. If you are, you don't have to get in front of a camera and do a YouTube video and share your expertise. You can have music playing in the background and just type. There's a lot of different ways to be able to use. And by the way, get in front of a camera. It's not about you. And the sooner that people can see you in a video and builds trust before you even meet that person. So when they do eventually meet you, you're further along and believe it or not, in your relationship with them and their buy-in, because in a way they've already experienced your energy. I don't know how that works. It just works. That's just how it is. So, okay, so I know we kind of a bit ethereal today in our webinar here today, and sharing, where are people. Basically, you need to determine where you are, where you want to be, and who you want to work with, and then engage yourself in those environments, whether it's offline, online. Don't pass up opportunities. You don't have to do everything, but pick 2 or 3 areas that you want to be seen in, so that and engage with that. I know a lot of realtors that do real estate kind of stealth-wise. They do it from, Donna Padula is a great example of that. She's up in the Chico, California area. Yes, she has a Facebook business page and her listings are there, and not showing. I don't know why. It's not loading. Oh, I'm on the webinar. Sometimes it affects how they scroll. But she does in the life of a realtor, because real estate, she's doing it, over 25 years. She's very involved in her community. And so on her personal side, she'll talk about, gosh, it's great being a realtor. She'll share, It's great. Well, I love this is why I love being a realtor. I get to help John and Mary, move in their new house, and I get to get their new house and their keys for new house. It was really exciting. And here's a picture of them, how happy they are. So you can share that kind of day in the life of a realtor. It works and engages, but without violating quote unquote terms of service in Facebook, because Facebook doesn't really want you on your personal profile to be promoting your services and such. So, Gabe, I want to thank everybody for coming to the webinar. Gabe, are there any questions or comments that we missed? My throat's a little dry.
Not really. I've been chatting here with Arlene about certain things, but she's going to call me later. Okay. Seems like everybody understood what you said.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody. This was a little bit different kind of webinar here today than we usually do. We talk usually more about RealBird all the time, but RealBird fits into everything that we talked about here today. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So I hope you have learned something today. I know I shared a few of my coaching tips. It was kind of like off the cuff, but as a coach, I hope you'll take some of those ideas and put them to work. They do work. It's not too late to set goals to find more business before the end of the year and even close some business. You got to believe that business is there. Otherwise, you won't have the attitude or lift your head or open your eyes to see that the business is in front of you. It's everywhere. Everybody lives in. Most people we know lives in houses, not those things like the Mongolian people live in. What do you call those round things? Yurts. Some people live in those too. I mean, up in Alaska, but
igloos.
Igloos. Well, they have igloos, but they also Mongolian people have those round kind of tents that have the hard bottom. Anyway, not everybody lives in those. Most people live in houses, and they need help with them. So. And you got to be convinced in your mind that I'm the person to help them. You don't have to help everybody, but be definite and intentional about who you want to help and how you can help. Okay. Thanks everybody for coming to the webinar. I hope you guys learned something. I learn something every time I train, and hopefully these tips will be helpful to you. Okay. Thanks, Gabe.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
And weekend.
Bye-bye.